Have you ever had someone make you feel like the most important person in the world only to vanish without a trace? No explanation, no closure, just silence. It happened to me, but instead of begging for answers, I found myself in the middle of a story so wild, even I didn't believe it while it was happening. And here's the part you'll love. When the guy who ghosted me finally saw what I did, his jaw dropped so hard you could hear it hit the floor. Stick with me, because this story isn't just about heartbreak. It's about karma showing up with perfect timing. And the ending? Let's just say he'll never forget it. But real quick, if you love stories where life delivers the exact revenge you didn't know you needed, make sure you hit subscribe and smash that like button. That way you won't miss the next one. Ryan wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't even looking for anyone when we met. It was one of those lazy Friday nights. A group of friends decided to grab coffee, nothing special. He showed up late, out of breath, blaming traffic. But the second he saw me, his whole face lit up like I was the reason he was there, and I'll be honest, my stomach flipped. We sat across from each other, and it was like the rest of the cafe melted away. He asked me questions, listened like every word I said was worth remembering. By the end of the night, I had his number. By the next morning, I had his first text. Can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again? That was the beginning of the whirlwind. Daily texts, late night phone calls that stretched until sunrise. He'd say things like, I don't know what I did before I met you, and I believed him. I wasn't just falling, I was diving head first. He'd show up with my favorite snacks, remember small details, send random good morning texts that made me smile at work. Every cliche perfect guy move, he did it. And here's where the loop closes. I thought I'd found something real, but looking back, those grand gestures were just the setup. Because the way he disappeared, it didn't feel like an accident. It started small. One day he didn't reply right away. No big deal, people get busy, but hours turned into a full day, then 2, then 5. I kept checking my phone, scrolling through our old conversations, rereading the sweet words he'd sent just a week earlier. I started questioning everything. Did I laugh too loud? Did I text too much? Did I say something wrong? Friends tried to comfort me. He's probably just busy. But then came the truth bomb from my best friend. He's not busy. If he wanted to talk, he would. Still, I clung to hope, until the day I opened Instagram. There he was, smiling, partying, a drink in his hand, another girl by his side, the same smile he once gave me, now plastered across a photo for the world to see, and that's when something inside me broke. I realized he wasn't gone because he was busy. He was gone because he chose to be. But if Ryan thought his silence was the end of the story, he had no idea what was coming. That's when Alex entered the picture, Ryan's best friend. We'd crossed paths before, but I never paid much attention. He wasn't flashy like Ryan. He didn't command a room, but he was kind. One afternoon, out of nowhere, he messaged me, Hey, I heard you and Ryan aren't talking anymore. Just wanted to check in. You okay? Simple words, but they hit harder than I expected. Then I laughed to myself. Care? He hadn't even cared enough to send a single text. So when Alex finally asked me to dinner, his voice nervous but steady, I said yes. What I didn't know was that this dinner would turn into the exact scene Ryan never wanted to witness. The night of the date, I put effort into myself, not for Alex, not for Ryan, but for me. I wanted to feel like someone worth showing up for again. Alex arrived, holding the door open, asking if I was comfortable. He cracked jokes before we even got to the restaurant, and the tension in my chest started to fade. We walked in, hand in hand, and then everything stopped. Because there he was, Ryan, sitting at a corner table with another girl. His laugh froze, his eyes widened, and the drink in his hand lowered slowly like he couldn't trust what he was seeing. Me, with his best friend. My heart raced, but I didn't flinch. I smiled. I squeezed Alex's hand, and I laughed loud enough for Ryan to hear. The girl at his table glanced between us like she was solving a puzzle. And Ryan, he turned red. His jaw tightened. In that moment, I didn't need revenge. It was already happening, right there in front of him. But Ryan wasn't going to let it slide, not quietly. After dinner, as Alex and I walked outside, Ryan followed. Seriously? He snapped. You're with him now, my best friend? I turned slowly, my voice calm. Funny, you didn't care when I was with you. Guess ghosting me freed up my schedule. He stuttered, his words tripping over themselves. I had stuff going on. Alex stepped closer, protective, his presence solid. Then maybe you should have said something instead of disappearing. Ryan's face twisted, jealousy, anger, regret all boiling beneath the surface, but he couldn't undo what he'd done. Because here's the thing, He hadn't lost me to his best friend. He'd lost me the second he decided I wasn't worth a reply. That night, as Alex drove me home, I felt lighter than I had in weeks. Ryan's silence once crushed me, but now it felt like freedom. Because silence isn't always rejection, sometimes it's redirection, and Ryan's ghosting, it wasn't the end, it was the beginning of me finding someone who valued me, of me finding myself again. When Ryan saw me with Alex, he realized what I'd known for weeks. He didn't just ghost me, he ghosted the best thing he ever had. And when I walked away that night, hand in hand with Alex, I didn't feel revenge, I felt peace. Because when he ghosted me, I thought I lost something. But in reality, I found everything. While I was finally moving on, Ryan was unraveling. That night at the restaurant wasn't just a coincidence. He wasn't supposed to see me with Alex. But sometimes karma works faster than you expect. Ryan tried to brush it off at first. He told himself Alex wasn't serious, that I'd come running back eventually. But deep down, he knew the look on my face wasn't the look of someone faking it to get revenge. It was the look of someone genuinely happy. And the more he thought about it, the more it ate at him. He scrolled back through our old texts, rereading every word. The good mornings, the late-night confessions, the little pieces of himself he had given me and then carelessly threw away. Now, they were haunting him. And that's when he made his biggest mistake yet. He decided to win me back. Not because he loved me, but because he couldn't stand the thought of losing. The next week, Ryan showed up, not with excuses this time, but with flowers, gifts, promises of change. Emily, I messed up. I wasn't ready then, but I am now. Please give me another chance. It comes when you no longer need their words to move on. I looked at Ryan, my voice steady. You know what the difference is between you and Alex? You disappeared when things got real. He showed up when things got hard, and that's why you'll never get me back. Ryan's face crumbled. Because in that moment, he didn't just lose me, he lost the mask he'd been hiding behind all along. That night, lying in bed, I thought about everything. The whirlwind, the silence, the heartbreak, the twist, and I realized Ryan wasn't a villain I needed to defeat. He was just a lesson I had to learn, because the real revenge wasn't the restaurant. It wasn't the confrontation. It wasn't even walking away. The real revenge was being genuinely happy without him. And with Alex by my side, I finally was. For a second, I froze. The girl who once cried herself to sleep would have melted right then and there, but I wasn't that girl anymore. Before I could speak, Alex stepped closer, standing at my side. Ryan's eyes flicked between us, and I swear, for the first time, he realized he had no power left. And standing there, hearing him pour out all the words I once begged to hear, I realized something powerful. Closure doesn't come from the person who hurt you. If you've ever been ghosted, if you've ever been left wondering what you did wrong, just remember, sometimes their silence is your freedom, and maybe, just maybe, it's leading you towards something better. If this story hit you, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment. Have you ever had your own Ryan, and did you find your Alex? Because your story might just be next. Months later, Ryan tried one last time. A late-night text out of nowhere. Hey, just thinking about you. Hope you're doing okay. But this time, I didn't smile. I didn't cry. I didn't even reply. I simply turned off my phone, rolled over, and fell asleep in the arms of someone who actually stayed, because sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's silence. And this time, the silence was mine.